Hey folks, so I'm about to go into Dollar Tree here, and I'm presenting myself a little challenge. I want to go into Dollar Tree and see how much food I can get for $8. Assuming I'm really broke and $8 is all I can scrape together, how many meals for one person can I get for $8? So I'm going to run in, see what I can find, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back now. I've I've made a slightly harder challenge for myself than I thought I had. I thought it was going to be a little bit easier than what it was, but that's fine because that puts you in the exercise of trying to figure out how to maximize such a small amount of money. And I used to be really, really good at this years ago. But when I got in there, I was thinking I was going to go in for, I already had a couple of certain things in mind. When I got in there, the shelves had a lot of empty spaces on it. And I haven't been in Dollar Tree in a long time. So I wasn't expecting that, although I should have been. And check out what these shelves look like. And I'll be right back and tell you exactly what I got. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of empty spaces on those shelves. So a lot of the things that I had in mind when I first went in there, they didn't even have. All right, so two things that I had in mind. One was ramen, because even though it's not the most nutritionally ideal food, you can make a lot of meals out of ramen. The only ramen they had was the chili flavored. Now that would be fine. You could get 5 packs for $1.25. That would be fine. But the idea was for me to go in and get something I would eat. I don't eat spicy food. I don't eat anything chili or buffalo flavored or anything like that. If it's spicy, I will not eat it. So it wouldn't be right for me to pick out a bunch of ramen, however you want to pronounce it, that I wouldn't eat. So I wanted to stick with things that I would eat myself. So the ramen was off the list. So the next thing I thought about was rice, a bag of white rice, because you can stretch a 1 pound bag of white rice a long way, especially if you're only feeding one person. Unfortunately, they didn't have any. And they had very few dried beans, to be honest with you. So they didn't have any white rice. All they had was the flavored rice in the pouches and dried beans. So before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I got. Right off the bat, stuff's about to fall out here. Right off the bat, thin spaghetti. All right, so this is 20 ounces of spaghetti. I can make probably 4 meals out of this if I have the sauce. That's $1.25. Can of sauce, another $1.25. So there's $2.50 right there. But with those two, again, if I'm only feeding one person, if I'm only feeding myself, knowing how I've done in the past, I can divide that up into at least 3, possibly 4 meals right there. The next thing I got, you know it, pinto beans, dried beans. Now they had Great Northern and they had pinto, and that was it. They didn't have a lot of selection, so I can divide this up into 2 or 3 meals. But beans alone is not enough. So what I got to go with it, luncheon loaf. So that I can divide up into, I can dice this up, I can slice it up, fry it, and fix it with the beans, mix it in with the beans as it's cooking. That can get me at least 2 good meals out of that, maybe 3. So I ended up getting a second can of luncheon loaf because in a pinch, I can fry this up and eat it by itself. So there's a meal there maybe. Or I can use 1 can of luncheon loaf to half a pound of beans. So there would be 2 meals right there. So 6 meals all total right now. So the next thing I got, and I didn't have enough to get 2 more items to mix, so I could pick 1 item. What single item could I get in the store that I could make a meal out of? Well, I could get another bag of beans, but I've already got some. I was trying to get variety as well. So I looked at the soups. Just about everything was something like a chicken noodle soup. It's a really light, thin soup. Wasn't very filling. But I found 1 can chicken and dumplings. It's a little bit heavier than just regular chicken noodle soup. So that'll be a little bit more filling than just plain chicken noodle soup or beef broth or chicken broth or whatever you can get. So all total, if I really scrimp and ration myself, I can get 4 meals out of the spaghetti. I can get 2 meals out of the bag of beans and 1 can of luncheon loaf. So that's 6 meals. I can get 1 more meal out of the luncheon loaf, although it's going to be kind of bland, just the luncheon loaf by itself. That's 7 meals. And then 1 more meal here. So that's 8 meals for $8. Actually, to be honest, the shelf price on all of this was $7.50. But with tax, it came out to exactly $7.95. So, I challenged myself to stay under $8. I barely did that. And with some pretty thin shelves and poor selections, I believe I did okay. Again, if I'm feeding myself, I can put that back. And I can have a week's worth of food right there. I won't be eating good. I won't be getting the greatest nutrition. And I'm probably still going to be a little bit hungry, but I'll be able to function. And that's the main thing. So, 8 meals for $8. I don't think that's too bad considering, given the situation. Now this will go into my preps. Now if you're trying to feed a family, you're trying to prep for a family, and you've got 2 or 4 people, it's going to be hard. But if you can squeeze back $8, now again, keep in mind some of this stuff you can actually get cheaper going to a grocery store. Some you can't, but some you can. So if you pick and choose where you shop and pick your deals for $8 a week, you can put back food for your family. Again, it's not going to be the most nutritious. It's not going to be the greatest food in the world, but you're not going to starve. And you might not be able to put back quite as much each week as you would like, but imagine doing this every week for 3 months. It adds up. It really adds up. So that's a challenge I presented to myself today, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now all this stuff is going into my preps, but really think outside the box when it comes to meals. In an SHTF, you can ration yourself. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pleasant, but you won't starve. And that's the main thing. You won't be starving. You might be a little hungrier than normal, but you're not going to starve. And if you start doing this now, you can build it up enough to where it won't be as bad as you think. Anyway, that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. I hope you got something useful out of this. I hope this gave you some ideas. I might do this again later at a different store. The next one might be Walmart. I don't know, just for comparison's sakes. And until next time, folks, take care, keep prepping, and I'll catch you later.